Hey everybody, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Great to see everybody out there in the field. Today we're going to talk about really introducing a 4-day week. What does that even look like? So many of us are experiencing that right now. So a lot of people had questions about the 4-day week. I did a little research to kind of dive in to see what was happening during the 4-day week around the world. How were teachers experiencing it? How were parents and families experiencing it? What are the pros? What are the cons? We had some great discussion in my group. So I want to make sure I brought some of the discussion back up. So if you are in the chat and you want to have a comment or you want to chime in, feel free to chime in. I love a conversation about just introducing the 4-day week. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to add this presentation. So how can we set what about this 4-day school week that is either helpful or are we just struggling with it? So let's go ahead and dive in right now. Put in the chat if you have moved to a 4-day week. Your school has made the change, made the switch to a 4-day week. What we know is most 4-day weeks schools operate either Monday through Thursday, but I have heard some that are operating Tuesday through Friday. So if you have one way or the other, please definitely let me know in the chat if this is something that you're experiencing. We know the school days are made longer. And we know some schools, may offer enrichment activities like tutoring and stuff during that extra day, that fifth day. But it just depends on your school and depends on what the need is. And so states have additional guidelines regarding this 4-day week. But I do want to know, put it in the chat, has your school district saved money by doing this 4-day week? What are some things we should consider if we were to move forward with this? And then what is the direct consequence on our teachers as well as many of our students? So let's go ahead and move on from there. So when you're moving to a 4-day week, you have to have buy-in. You have to kind of engage everybody in the process, or at least have everybody considering this idea. Let me take these banners off just so you can see some of the ideas that I have. Okay. So, what is the impact on everybody? What about the students, about time, curricular impacts, the teachers and time, and then administrative? Is it worth it? The board, as well as the parents, and the whole perception of what does this mean as a group? What does this mean for childcare? For our school district, and does it even fit with our community that we serve? This piece, I kind of feel that teachers are experiencing, not only are they overwhelmed, but they're overworked, and we're always advocating for higher pay, salary. Many times when these movements are made without teacher buy-in, teacher advocacy, we feel unappreciated. And also, there's worry there that there will be a lack of support once this may move forward. Like, what does that transition look like? And so I think in this idea of this transformation and change, the idea is, okay, if this is going to happen, then what next, and how do we get support? Now, we are not the first one that have adopted this whole concept. So we have seen, but this is 2020 data, more than 1,600 school districts have adopted this model. 25 states are trying it out. More states are trying it out this go around. And it's nothing new. This research has been around for decades. So thinking about this 4-day week and how it has continuously came up, moved around, but it's still into fruition. So keep that in mind. So I put a poll out there because I want to see what my community said about the 4-day week, and are they actually experiencing the pros and the cons of this 4-day week. So I put it in my social media search, and here are some of the things they said. Okay, so cramming, grading, lesson plan, the 4-day week can be rough, But if you're good at time management, it could be doable. One of the teachers said, I love it. I don't have to touch work Saturday, Sunday. It's amazing. I feel like a real person again. The third one is like our days are long, very long. Our contract hours are 7:30 to 4:30, but our students are 7:50 to 3:30. But on the flip side, we get all of our PDEs, committee meetings, whatever else done in school on that half Monday. And then there are one other one was one teacher, there's another one on there, but then another teacher said, I left a 4-week district. It isn't a good fit for my family. I did not like getting home at 5:30 as my mom was with my kids. My kids are in the neighboring district as I worked outside. So maybe it would have been better fit if we were all on the same schedule, but I personally did not feel the extra day off was worth it. And they go on to say the days are very long. The kids have to meet all their minutes. So you don't, it's not like you get extra recess planning, more specials. I do not know the community that we served. I do not think the community that we served liked it. And we provided childcare at many times. So, I mean, really thinking about some of the pros and cons are crucial. And if it's a good fit for your community, which is important as well. So if you want to see this again, I will definitely put it up on YouTube so you can be able to see it and pull it up anytime you want. Let's move on. So here are some of the pros and cons. I want to make sure that I provide as many pros and cons that I heard of in the chat and I saw on research online, but I want to take a look at some of the pros and cons. So, of course, improve work-life balance. We have an extra day off sometimes. It reduces our commute because we're not traveling all 4 days. Of course, increased planning, flexibility. So take a look at some of the pros. Some of the cons for a teacher, from a teacher's perspective, it is longer work days. The curriculum seems very compressed. Of course, the disrupted routine, impact on part-time jobs, student fatigue, equity concerns. One of the other concerns was, I remember reading that it kind of stifles creativity and planning, especially with your teachers and groups. One of the teachers said, the doctor's office is closed on Friday, so this really doesn't help me with scheduled planned doctor's visits. It was hard to make up the missed time was another thing that teachers said was a concern. So let's go ahead and move on so we can identify some more things that some of the teachers are facing. All right, so now this one is from the parents' perspective. So thinking about the parents' perspective, some of the pros were like, okay, so I'm not driving on that day to drop my kid off, right? So more family time, easier schedule appointments because we have that one day off. Like maybe I could save money, flexible. We can take a 3-day vacation, right? Maybe more rest for the kids, things like that. And some of the cons I want to put up is like it is a childcare challenge, which brings us back to the teacher said, yeah, my parents were helping me watch my children while I was working, but also it is a struggle to find childcare, hoping that you are in education and your schedule is similar like kids, okay? Of course, inconsistent routines, increased costs for childcare. Now I'm having to find support on that other day, the longer day for the kids, of course, academic concerns. Another thing was for parents was like support with IEP. Is my baby or my students getting the time that they need? And so that was one of the cons. So let's go ahead and move on. Now the students, really understanding the students' perspective. And granted, these are gauging some ideas from the student's perspective, but a lot of the pros maybe like, I get to sleep a day in, right? Maybe I can work if I'm a high school student. I can work on that day. I get some downtime to maybe complete projects, complete extra courses. I rested, so now I'm ready to go on Monday. And so the cons were, of course, longer days are exhausting. Well, one of the teachers in my group said, a first grader was like, by the time I get home, all I can do is eat dinner and I'm going to bed because I am so tired. So thinking of that increased longer day, and then rural districts taking the bus longer periods of time, having a longer or later time students are getting home. And of course, uh, challenge for parents, latchkey kids. Now we have to find alternatives for students kind of getting into the house. Curriculum is crammed. And then there's more of a potential for falling behind. But I'm not going to read all of them, but I did want to kind of go over some of the things that I was able to find with the pros and cons from the student's perspective. So I want to know, would you like to go like do a 4-day work week, or are you doing a 4-day work week? Put in the comments if you are. And do you think it's beneficial or harmful? And besides for the 4-day work week, what else can be alternatives? We have seen many various alternatives, but the 4-day work week, it seems like this is what has been kind of catching on like wildfire. Schools are making the change as soon as possible. So I had moved last week from how can you help teachers integrate, oh my God, integrate technology into their teaching. So I will have that for next Tuesday evening at 9 o'clock. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found that helpful. And if your district has moved into a 4-day week, put in the chat below. Let me know how it's going. All right. Talk to you later.